Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day. Today is Saturday the 23rd, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got this morning, really decent time frame, way earlier than I really wanted to, but later than I planned. So I thought I'd set my alarm, and I did, but I set it for the wrong hour, if that makes any damn sense. So it is what it is. The crew is supposed to be here to pour the slab for my concrete, and the owner of the business, boss, whatever you want to call it, had said his crew would be there at 6:15 a.m. and at 7 a.m. the concrete truck's supposed to show up to start pouring my slab. So I was like, okay, cool. So I set my alarm, get up plenty of time, screwed up the hour. So I woke up, I heard the noise outside my window because the garage is going in right next to my master bedroom. So I heard it. I was like, oh shit, I gotta get up real quick and get around. So I got up, got the dogs outside, got dressed real quick, and then proceeded to go out and talk to the guys to make sure that they were digging the holes, or were supposed to dig the holes to put my extra footings for my lifts. I'm designing to have 2 lifts. It'll have one originally right away, and then I'll get a second one hopefully soon down the way in a year or 2 if I need it, and may never need it. But it was like $100 more to put it in right now as it is to pay, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000 to cut the concrete out and redo it all later and anchor it all in together. So much easier. So guys cut it out, started digging the holes, and got the footings dug out. They're 4-foot chunks, 11 foot on center from each other, and I really didn't need 3 foot would have been plenty, and truthfully 2 feet probably been plenty, but wasn't sure exactly what lift I was getting and exactly how far apart they'd be, so I went 4 foot each. So, and if you narrow that in to the 3 foot chunks, it's plenty fine. So they got the rebar cut up, and that the concrete truck got here. The guy tried to drive in. He had a front dump concrete truck and tried driving into the yard and almost took out my palm tree, almost busted the whole front of his truck up. It was so damn close. It came in way too hot. And I think if they had actually did what I told them before, is if you're going to try and get in here, back into my driveway across the street, which is mine also, backing it and as it goes straight in, they might have made it in a lot better. But they tried to turn and come off the road at an angle, and it's just too wet here. We've been getting a lot of rain lately, and it's just, there's no way he's gonna make it. So best part about that is this whole fact, when they did that, guess what, now they tore the yard all the shit. So the guy driving the buggy truck is like a little skid steer, basically, the big giant wheelbarrow is what it is. He's driving it, it's rough as shit, and it's getting all extra muddy now and stuff because the truck tore it up, and it's way worse than it needs to be. So yeah, fun. So they unload the first truck as they're getting my footings filled up and filling the slab and working their way across. And then from there, second truck showed up pretty early, and when they did, the driver started talking to the first driver, and then the first driver wasn't paying attention to the hand signals for how much goes in the buggy, and he overfilled the buggy a few times. So they got to arguing with each other a little bit on that, and that wasn't fun. But pain in the ass. But yeah, I was chatting to the guys. Only 3 guys showed up today. Usually it's been 4. The other 2 days they've been here. Only 3 guys showed up today. So they were out there just working away, and quite a bit of work to do. And luckily it didn't take them that long to dig the holes, but we went about a foot deep. I thought we were going to be like 6 inches deep, but they went a full like foot below. So I've got 16 inches of concrete and 4 foot pads. So way more concrete than I need to hold any lift I ever want to have. So if I ever end up with like a big ass giant bus or something, I can still pick it up. And if I get wild hair at my butt and I decide to put in both lifts, I theoretically could put a big ass bus on that thing and pick it up both lifts at the same time. I don't know how safe that would really be, but it'd be kind of cool to see a big ass long, giant school bus setting up on a lift inside there, getting some work on it. It'd be kind of a weird project to do, but I kind of want to do it now if I ever get both lifts put in. So yeah, they basically ran that. Second truck was a backfill, or a back unload. He didn't even try and back in. Ran the load through fine. Third truck shows up, different driver, and he's like, oh, I can make it. The guy's like, no, don't try it. He's like, I can make it. I'll go there and make it, blah, blah. Then he comes in, makes it way worse, tears the yard up even worse than that. The process of cutting through again, of course. I wasn't out there, didn't know he was showing up at that time. But he ends up with his back wheels, digs in my yard, actually hits my culvert. And I don't think he crushed the culvert, but it's close. It's hard to tell. I wait for it to dry out some. I got there with a shovel, dig it out, see what it looks like, and all that good fun stuff. So yeah, and the guys were trying to cover it back up, and they're like, oh, it was fine, it's fine, it didn't crush it. I'm like, because they don't want to be responsible for fixing the damn thing. But same crew is probably one's putting in my driveway, so most likely, as high as the culvert is, it's got to be taken out anyway. So there's a good chance I'm going to have them bring a backhoe out
I'll just go rent a backhoe and I'll dig that ditch out myself and drop a new culvert in. Because right now the culvert starts on my neighbor's yard, goes under their driveway, all the way through my entire property and all the way down to the alley, fully underground. It's just a corrugated plastic pipe. But it's been here since like 2003, so not really been a problem. But now that the top's been crushed a little bit, I don't know how it's gonna go. Plus, it's gonna be, the driveway's got a set to make the slope into my garage. There's a good chance it's gonna be pouring concrete right on top of that culvert. I'm not sure how well it's gonna work. So I might redig the whole thing and just replace it all. It's a few $1,000s more, but hey, it's only money, right? That's all that matters. So went ahead and I had to wait for the third truck to show up, which took a while. The guy's sitting around. Finally, the third truck got there and got it all done. Guys are pouring the last little bit of concrete in, moving it in, trying to figure out how much they need. I was just in and out talking to the guys out in the backyard, kind of the dogs, and just kind of chilling out for the day. Dogs barking at me out the window, all that good fun stuff. So storm rolled in, and of course, gotta love that. So rain comes in, so they got, luckily, the concrete down. They got a general shape. They shimmy across with the gas-powered little oscillator deal, so basically trawling it down. So it's not smooth yet, but it's all flat and level, but it's not finished. So they stretched plastic out all over top of the whole thing, and then the rain showed up. It rained pretty hard for a little bit, and the guys just hung out waiting for the rain to pass. And when you have the concrete covered with plastic, it actually makes it heat up faster, which ironically makes it cure faster. So it's kind of a weird design how it works. So luckily the rain passed off enough that it wasn't too bad. They're gonna pull the plastic back off and then start working it. And they had plenty of time to basically trowel it out smoother, all that good fun stuff. And luckily, because they had not worked it yet, I didn't get that real bad tiger striping that you often will get. If you got the thing basically polished and then you come in and throw plastic on, you sometimes get really bad tiger striping, but I don't really care. There's a good chance I'll end up with epoxy on the floor maybe. Haven't made my mind up, some kind of sealer or something, don't know yet. So we'll see how it breaks down and go from there. But they spent that, and they basically were there until 5:30 in the afternoon, and they were there a little before 7 when the guys showed up. So it was a long day for them, and we were out chatting, and we had a lot of downtime waiting for the concrete to dry up enough so they could basically put the big fan on it to polish it out, to put what they call a smooth finish on it. So I told them, I said, I'd rather have it rougher than smoother. If it gets too smooth and I'm slick, I don't want to walk in there with my Crocs on, wet shoes, and fall on my ass. I'd rather be a pain in the butt to sweep up than worry about slipping and falling. Because I think about if my father-in-law comes over, or friends over there, or myself especially, walking in carrying stuff in the rain, kind of jog into the garage real quick, and then go to put my stop, and my feet go off or anything. Because the garage I had in high school that my mom had for a while before the house got repossessed. My mom owned a house for a little tiny bit of time. They had polished that garage floor so damn slick. One time I pulled in the car, which was a little too fast on wet tires, and hit the brakes on my Camaro and slid. Like, didn't stop, but it slid right into the back. So luckily it wasn't going that fast, and there was a bunch of debris. My brother's girlfriend, then became wife, had caught up against the back wall of her garbage, and she probably thought it was important stuff, but it was mostly garbage. I hit it, so there's no damage to my car, no damage to her stuff really, and no damage to the garage. But the floor was way too slick. And even my garage I have now, they painted it, and if you walk in there with your Crocs on and they're wet, it's slick, like it's dangerous. So, and I should have, before I moved into that garage, I really should have just ground it all down and then repainted it with epoxy with something with a tooth, or even mixed up a good concrete paint with some silica sand in it, something a bit more grip. But I thought I'd get to it later. You never get to it later, because once you're in it, you never move all your shit out to redo the floor. So there is a possibility I might, once the new garage is finished, I may move all my shit from this garage into it and then use that as an excuse, because I have space to put it all, to redo the floor in the actual garage of my house. But again, I don't do that much with it in that garage, so it's really not the big a deal. It's mostly for motorcycle storage, and then my wife's car sits there. Other than that, it's freezers and whatever, so not a big deal. But like I said, I may use an excuse to go buy myself a good concrete grinder, a big handheld version of it, grind it down and epoxy the floor myself with some home done kits, an AV kit, and do it myself and save myself a few $1,000s. But that justifies buying the tool, because I like to buy tools when the tools cost less than what it costs to charge somebody, or I pay somebody else to do the work professionally. So it kind of gives me an excuse to still save money and get a new tool. So that's how I did my flooring in my house. Grind up all the, jackhammered all the tile out, and I got to buy myself a big, pneumatic, air hammer, and I got to buy some concrete grinders and all that good fun stuff. But the one I got is not really good for doing a full garage. That's too much. It was good for knocking down like the grout and stuff in the high spots, but not enough to do a full 2-car garage. So new tool purchase, always fun to have. So who knows, we'll see if it breaks down or not. So yeah, went ahead from there, and the guys talked to them off and on, and then he would go back and polish more, wait for it dry, he'd polish some more, and work dry as he worked through the loads. We ended up with 3 trucks of concrete. I think about 27, 30 yards is what it turned out to be. So yeah, got that done finally. Like I said, I left at like 5:30. It was super late for them. But before they even left, I went for my run, and the rain had stopped luckily for the rest of the day. So I got my run in, got back, talked to the guys again, and then I brought out, we were talking about just random stuff. I mentioned I had like a 3D printer, had a laser machine, that kind of stuff. You asked me what I make. So I brought out some of the stuff I 3D printed, and they were laughing. So one of the things I brought out was like a penis-shaped item. They take like a dinosaur, it has a penis head on it, just dumb shit. So they were laughing, thought that was pretty funny. So I went and got a whole box of all my inappropriate, not safe for work plastic stuff. Came out and showed it to them all, and they were dying laughing, making fun of who they want to give it to and who they want to prank with and blah, blah, whatever. So I'm like, dude, take whatever you guys want. Like, congratulations, here's your tip. And they laughed. And I'd asked them last time they were there what kind of booze they drink. Tequila, whiskey, Corona, whatever the hell they want. They wouldn't give me an answer. How, whatever's free. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm gonna go buy it for you, so I can give it to you as a tip. So tell me what the fuck you want, and they wouldn't tell me. So instead, I had to give them a bottle of, really nice, but a bottle of tequila. I'm like, since you guys wouldn't tell me, you guys got a bunch of 3D printed shit and a bottle of tequila as a thank you. So like I said, hopefully, haven't decided I'm gonna go pavers or go with the concrete for the driveway. I made my mind up. But on my run today, I met a guy or a little crew who was doing pavers in the driveway, and the price he quoted me generically about this much per foot, but he said he wanted to come look at the house first. And it felt weird to have a guy come by and give me a quote on a driveway when these guys think they're doing my driveway. So I was kind of like, who knows, we'll see. So told the guy, said, hey, maybe next week we can maybe come by, because he got done before my crew left with the paver job. So I was like, yeah, we'll wait, we'll do it some other time. So, and the price he quoted me is, I think, almost too cheap, so it makes me nervous. I'm gonna go back and look once that project they were on is finished. I'm gonna go look at it. I might even go knock on the door of the people at the house and ask them, hey, were you happy with this crew? Would you hire them again? If your driveway was stolen tomorrow night, would you bring them back? You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll have to go from there and see what happens. They seemed confused that I was trying to put a full new driveway in, not taking concrete out, not taking nothing out. Like, I'm like, no, it's just a yard right now. Like, there's nothing there. So you're starting from complete scratch. So you leave all the base and all that stuff. It's not a driveway. So, and with the language barrier, I'm not fully sure he understood exactly what I was saying. So I do have a real good friend of mine who, she is completely fluent in Spanish. Actually, Spanish is probably more of her fluent language than English is, but I might have her help me with a phone call and talk to those guys to make sure we're understanding each other 100% if I do go with pavers. So yeah, we'll figure that out. But got back to the house and decided to have some leftovers, and wife had leftover minute steak. I had some leftover tater tots and chili, and there wasn't that much chili left, so I ended up knocking some cheese out on it too. I wanted a full meal, get the dogs all fed, and the Great Dane I'm watching, who got dropped off this morning while I was talking to the crew guys, had the second dog dropped off, and the storm hit. He didn't eat breakfast. Because he didn't eat breakfast, now his belly gets upset. He's getting an older dog, and he's really bad about if he goes too long between meals, he don't want to eat, and then it becomes a thing. So I was like, okay, cool. And they were like, is that your dog? I'm like, no, it's a client's dog. We talked about the fact that my business watches people's animals and so on and so forth, and showed them that she gave me like grass-fed organic beef from the store, like fancy ass, meat that dogs can eat. And he's like, we don't eat that good. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people don't eat as good as this dog does. I'm like, she'll bring me full rotisserie chicken from Publix to feed this dog. Like, it's crazy. But went ahead, got him in, everything was chilling out. Tried to feed him again, didn't want to eat, and I was like, God damn it. So I said, hell with it. We decided to run over beachside to grab ourselves a drink to try and finish off that list of the little map thing. You gotta go hit all the bars, and there's like 8 bars on it. You gotta have the drink in each one. You can have a chance to win a prize. No idea what the prize is. It's probably, we laugh and joke, so it's probably the stuff from Lost and Found from these bars. So he'll get like some old sunglasses or some shit, so who knows. But we laughed about it, and basically everybody we talked to, they said they seen like 3 people come through, or the one lady said like, most of them said we're the first person even doing it. So who knows how many people actually did it. Who knows how many people cheated and just initialed shit, because there was no real rules to it. It was just have the bartender or the waitress initial it and move on. So we went to the first bar, as a restaurant / bar. We were there yesterday. They didn't have what they needed to make the drinks. which is dumb. They said they'd all be here today, so we drive back over. We get in there, we try and order our drinks. The bar's full, so it's a little tiny ass bar. And there's enough seats, but there's like weird gaps. They left the gaps in there, so we didn't want to split ourselves up, sitting on opposite sides of people. So we grabbed a table and said we're here for these drinks. She goes, hold on, take that list. I go back and find out. Went back, then came back. Oh, we still don't have the stuff to make this. Like, we were just here yesterday. You guys said it was on the way, and blah blah. I'm like, is there anything we can do with this? Like, what the hell? She goes, well, hold on, let me go talk. So she went back to the back. I don't know if it's the owner, manager, chef, I don't know. He came back and goes, were you here yesterday? I go, yeah, we're here yesterday, and this thing ends this week, and like this is the weekend. And he goes, how about I just initial it for you and we'll call it a day? And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, that'll work. So he initialed it, and we're like, okay, kind of feel like we need to buy something. We don't know what we want, but we also need to hit one more bar. So let's go there, and then we'll come back here. We already had dinner, so we don't want to have food. And then he goes, also, I'll buy you a round, so your first drinks are on me, because you come back 2 days in a row and we didn't have it. And then we're like, well, we definitely don't feel like that feels really awkward to us to take 2 free drinks right now when we're not buying nothing from you. You know, it's that concept of like, it's one thing if like we're gonna have dinner or we're gonna stay for 3 or 4 drinks, but we're not gonna have one drink and leave. And it feels really weird, even though we did come back twice and we did try. We tried to patronize your business, give you money, but now it feels extra weird to not give you money and drink your drinks both. So it's like, we're just gonna leave. It feels weird. So we left and then went to their bar, which was Sharky's. And that was one we were saving for last because my wife thought she was gonna like it best. She wanted it on a high note. Don't know what difference it makes. But so we got there and waitress was super kind. There was a guy doing country music and my wife seemed to enjoy it. I wasn't that big a fan, but it is what it is. Some other ladies came in and sat at a table near us and we were sitting there and stuff, having our drink, listening to the music, and the one lady like waved at us to get our attention and stuff, like very adamantly. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, whatever. No clue who this woman is. I'm like, do you know this woman? She goes, no idea. I'm like, well, she seemed like she thought she knew us. And then like a few minutes later, she slides over next to me and pulls out her phone and starts showing me pictures of stuff. I'm like, who the fuck? Then I realized it's our neighbor. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we talked to her for a little bit, whatever. We chatted and stuff, and then we had our drink, listened to music. My wife's gonna have a second drink, and then she decided not to. And so I said, I don't know what it is. I'm looking around, everybody else having a good time. Seems like a pretty chill bar, except for a little loud, but I hate the bars. And I think it runs back to the child. I grew up in bars. My dad was a drunk, and I was in bars all the time. And I think it just brings back a lot of fucked up childhood memories. And it makes me feel like a shitty husband, because my wife enjoys this, and this is where people would go to have a good time, and everybody else in the bar is having fun, and I'm just kind of miserable. So she chose not to have another drink. And I'm like, cool. So we left, walked around a little bit, went and found our car, and headed home. Everything's good to go. We got to the house and just chilled out. Had some friends that were going to come over tomorrow, and they have a friend of theirs that's had a stent put in, getting out of the hospital tomorrow. They don't want to be that far away. So I think they're his ride home. They want to be close so they can go pick him up as soon as they release him. They're supposed to release him today, didn't, and now it's tomorrow. So yeah, we're in that whole hurry up and wait kind of thing. So but another friend of mine who says she might come over tomorrow, so we'll see. She was supposed to come over today, and then she had an opportunity. Somebody, a friend of hers, taking her to the laundromat. I go, I'm down to Titusville to the laundromat, which I thought was kind of weird, but it's like I can't pass up a free ride to the laundromat because right now she don't have a car, so kind of weird scenario on that whole thing. But I was like, yeah, cool, no big deal. And then she said, we'll hang out tomorrow. So I said, no problem. I reached out to her, and she's like, yeah, I should be free, tomorrow and stuff. It'll all be fine. I'm like, cool, no big deal. Worry about it tomorrow. Not a problem. She's like, yep, all good. So got back to the house, hung out there, we chatted a little bit, and then me and the dogs headed back outside and had myself a nice cigar and ended up mixing up a drink at the house because it's free and there's no loud ass band playing right in front of your, this case, which is singer, but it's a lot quieter place to go. So had my drink, headed back in, ended up watching a little bit of there's a movie I've been trying to watch and I can't watch very much at a time. It's pretty bad, called The Bayou, and it's about like methamphetamine induced crocodiles and alligators, and it's really bad, but it's not even like that funny campy bad like Sharknado. It's just kind of bad. So I'm trying to get through it because some people have told me it gets better at the end, but I can only do about 20-30 minutes at a time, and it just drives me nuts. So I'm in the process of watching 20-30 minutes at a time. So but yeah, I watched a little bit of that, and then I watched some Blue Bloods, had myself a little bit of chips for my after dinner snack, and wrapped it up. Dogs are all comfy. They got their beds. It was funny because the one, the Great Dane mix, basically stole my beds, and then the pit bull, she ended up stealing the Great Dane's bed. So hey, as long as they're all sleeping for the night, I don't give a shit where they sleep. So but yeah, I did finally get the Great Dane to eat. It was like midnight probably when he finally did eat, which I don't really like because usually I let him outside within an hour to poop, but I wasn't doing that at midnight. So hopefully he'll be good in the morning and won't be a problem. So we'll see. But the slab on my garage is done. They got the expansion cracks cut and it's finished. You could tell where they cut it. They cut it a little bit early, but it just gummed up their blade. It wasn't doing damage to the concrete or nothing. It just definitely gummed up the blade a little bit. You can tell by the dust the way it comes out. It was definitely not as cured the last load, but it was probably 2 hours difference between when they poured the first load and the last load. It was probably close to almost 2 hours. So yeah, there's a big gap in time of curing, but it's all good. It all works out. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.